I love this topic. I'm going to first introduce our fabulous panelists. I have Ann Gilbert with us. She's the owner and operator of 2 Shapes Fitness for Women franchises in the Tampa Bay area, both of which have pools, and she's very successful with her pools. And then we also have Connie Warasila, who's the choreographer and co-founder of WATERinMOTION. She's a faculty member with SCW Fitness and certified by not 1, not 2, but countless organizations. We also have Jeff Howard, who is a world-renowned fitness presenter and the Promotional Director of Fitness for the former, I should say, Director of Fitness for the Baptist Health and Milestone Wellness Center. He's a celebrity trainer, and he was a pioneer instructor at the Golden Door Spa. He also was one of the SCW faculty. Mike Lieber, can you please help Beverly to turn off her video, if you wouldn't mind? Thank you. And then we've got Cheri Kulp with us. She's the choreographer of WATERinMOTION's newest program, which is Strength, and has been a group fitness instructor and teaching lifeguard classes and swim lessons for over 25 years. So this is really, we have panelists that are very, very renowned. If you add up how long we've been in this industry, it is over 100 years. I know, I feel like I make up about 80 of those years. The exciting news is, and I'm gonna say this very, very, very soundly and importantly, the CDC, which is the Centers for Disease Control, has stated that pool chemicals have 6 times the strength needed to kill the coronavirus. And I will tell you, I keep reading all the articles that have to do with fitness. I'm looking at everything the government is saying. I'm looking at what all the health clubs are doing. And I am astounded, and I have to say I'm somewhat hurt that they keep ignoring what's going on in our aquatic areas. It is being ignored. We are ignored. And I have to say this, when I was teaching for a very long time at a facility, and they wouldn't even invite the aqua instructors to the group fitness meetings. Because I taught yoga and aqua, I would get the email and I would have to forward it to all the aqua people. So I've always felt like I am, what do you phrase that? The red-headed stepchild that gets ignored. So we're here to talk about how we are going to effectively reopen our pools. And we have a lot of governmental regulations, and Ann Gilbert specifically told me I couldn't start with her, and I don't care.
Okay. I got you.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm starting with you because you've opened 2 pools. Talk to us. Tell us what you did, how you did it, and why it's working.
Our clubs opened on, Sarah, our clubs, thanks for having me tonight, by the way. Thank you so much. We opened our clubs on May 20th. We opened our clubs, the pools the following week, and it took a lot of planning and a lot of strategies. Florida was mandated by the governor, but we're also mandated by the county. So we had to follow the county's rules and regulations. Of course, they demanded and mandated social distancing. So that was, how do we do that? They also made sure, they mandated that we had to have the county come out and test all of the waters and all of the pipes because we had been closed down for 2 full months. So they ran a battery of tests before we were allowed to open. So we passed that with flying colors, and we dove in trying to figure out how to navigate, really how to navigate. And we did it with something called ambassadors, which were actually members of our staff that were assigned to our students how to navigate from the front door all the way back to the back of our clubs where the pools are located and through the locker room. So I don't know if you've seen it before on other webinars, but we designed stickies. We designed stickies, and we didn't just put them on the floor like you see at Costco or CVS Pharmacy, where you set on the sticky and you wait for your turn to come up and be served. But we put them actually on the walls the tile walls of the aquatic environment, which actually created lanes and rows for people. So when they entered the aquatic environment, after being shown how to get through the locker room by the ambassadors, they lined up on their spot. They were so pleased to be able to come into class again. They've been very respectful. We've had no instances of really disrupting the social distancing. We did have to open an exit door, which was really interesting. It was the back door. No one ever used the back door of the club, but the health department asked us to open another exit so that people could exit the pool when finished with their class from one side and literally exit the building and go to their car, while the next group of persons were coming in to maintain that social distancing. So that was a little bit different, and that was a little bit awkward for us at first. It took hyper communication between the staff and the members. I mean, you guys, hyper communication. You can't do anything but over communicate right now. Every single day we did emails, texts, personal letters, phone calls, until everyone felt comfortable coming back in. One thing that we did that a lot of the clubs, I hope you guys will take this as a good strategy, because it was a strength strategy, and we call them SS's, strength strategies and strategies that didn't work. We opened the club a few days early and just let people come in. Just let people come in and really get the vibe. And we wanted to see we wanted them to see exactly what we had done with sanitizing equipment and everything. And that was a great strategy.
And I'm going to ask you, so some of the things you did is you had ambassadors, you had someone, maybe it was an aqua instructor, that maybe you appointed them, and they would be the one that would actually walk them through the club, through the locker room. And it's not as if they would stay in the locker room and change. People can come already dressed. They can have their flip-flops on. They bring their own towel for sanitary reasons. I personally, and we've debated this back and forth, don't think they need to bring their own aqua noodle or aqua dumbbells, because the pool basically supplies the disinfectant. You walk in through the locker room. You don't even have to change in there. Just walk through with your mask on. Whenever you're in a public area, you keep your mask on. Get to the pool area, then you take your mask off, and like you're going through the grocery store, you stand 6 feet apart. And what Ann did is she created these stickers that were the logo of your gym. And then when she put them on the pool, which I thought was really cool, she put them at eye level of the people that are in the water. So they were only about 18 inches above the floor, not like way up, and we didn't need to do orange cones or towels 6 feet apart or 8 feet apart. It was just these stickers on the wall. And it really created a frontal view of that, and then you also did them on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I
rows and columns.
Rows and columns, and I thought that was brilliant. And Anne did not want people to kind of hover around and everybody grabbing noodles. She didn't want crowds. She wanted everyone 6 feet apart. But in my mind, I would put the noodles in a pile like on the way in the pool, and you're 6 feet apart. You just kind of like your grocery cart. You pick up your noodle, you get in the pool, dunk it, which disinfects it, and then go to your space if you're going to be using a noodle. So I thought that was pretty brilliant. And I love the idea. What Anne said was she had an entrance, but then she had a separate exit. So I thought that was great. Now, Connie, you have a situation where your locker room is not attached to your pool. So how does your club navigate that?
Thanks for asking. I saw Ann set up and I was very impressed. So I was reaching out to my group ex-director and my pool operator this past week just to say, when are we opening? What can I do to help? And one of our biggest obstacles was our entry. because our locker rooms are down a hallway and men and women have to exit their locker room and walk down the hallway to the pool entrance. So what they're encouraging people to do is come dressed and not go into the locker rooms. They put up an outdoor shower at our pool, which is outdoor right now. We have a bubble on, but they've taken that off. So they're encouraging people after they get out of the pool, if they want to shower right there outside. And then they've opened an exterior exit door. And they are also allowing people who don't want to come through the club and go down that hallway. There, if you just call ahead, you can be escorted through the exterior door to go to the exterior pool. So they're being very flexible. I was very impressed with our management team and the guidelines that we're having to abide by in Northern Virginia are a little more strict than I think what Anne has had to institute. So we have to be 10 feet apart. So we are leaving the lane lines in our pool, and I think we're going to be allowed to use every other lane and then 10 feet apart in those two lanes. So I'll probably be limited to 12 people. But the entrance and exits are now open on both sides.
And that's really helpful. I've gotten a couple questions. People want to see photos. Now, I'm embarrassed that I have them because I already asked Anne to send them to me, but I'm a little bit of a moron and I can't find them in my inbox right now. But I promise that I will have those photos, and Mike Lieber, who is our wonderful cinematographer who's running our webinar today, he will remind me, right, Mike Lieber, and we will make sure to attach them because Anne did a great job of taking multiple photos of this situation. And Connie, I would love you to do that as well if you wouldn't mind in the next couple days. And then when we send out the webinar tomorrow late in the afternoon, usually in the evening, we send out the recording. We will attach some information on there, and it will include not only a really detailed article on how to taking the plunge in your pool, but how to reopen. So what I'll do is I'm going to also show you where you guys can all find that article. Cheri Kulp, how are you managing your aqua classes? Now, I don't believe they've even opened up yet, right?
No, New Mexico has not opened up. As a matter of fact, our governor just dropped our gym percentage to 25%, down from 50% on Monday. So I think we're a little ways out, but I'm loving this information. I was in last week actually to work on some new moves for strength. And I was, really happy to see exactly what Connie was saying. We have our lap lanes in, and they are mandating one person per lap lane. And the people were very respectful. And, normally sometimes you'll come in and you'll get, your grumpy swimmers, and they're trying to rush you out of the lanes, and so they can get in. But they were, everybody that was in there was very respectful. And from what I could tell, they were just happy to be able to be back and exercising in some way, shape, or form. So I'm really excited to get back in and listening to all this good information.
Now, your Water in Motion strength program uses the aqua dumbbells not only in the warm-up as a support device, not so much strength in that in the warm-up, but all the way through the workout, the cardio, the legs, the upper body, the lower body, the core, even the flexibility track for 45 minutes. I'm going to jump over to Jeff because, Jeff, you are a very strong proponent of 45-minute workouts.
Yep.
And can you talk to that?
Well, I want to say a couple of things. I saw Cheri's program, Further Strong, and it's an amazing program. And as we all know on this panel, strength is very important regarding water and our population. 45-minute classes for me, I've been It's funny, our pools opened up on the 15th of June and it was lane lines available for swimmers and walkers. And we had a sign up that had to happen. And we've never had a sign up. And we had a lot of friction, I'll be honest with you, with it. Unlike Cheri's group of people that were very kind, our people were not kind about it. They were very frustrated by it. And then we started classes at the beginning of the month. And our classes are 45 minutes, and we give that time, but you have to sign up again for those. But I just looked at the record today, and we're allowed 20 people in our pool. And we're a 4-lane, yeah, 4-lane. We're in Kentucky, guys. It's a little bit lax here. But we're allowed 20 people, and 20 people are signing up. So it's one of those things that, you know, our group fitness classes on land are not as full as what's happening in the water because this population has missed it, which is interesting enough. But the 45-minute class, you can get the work done in that time, and then you get that time to change in the middle. So if you are scheduling your classes, it gives you that cushion, let's just say, so you can talk accordingly and stuff.
That's very interesting. I am pleased to say that I'm going to take the screen for 1 second. So if you would, guys, Mike Lieber, just make sure I can share my screen. And I found, of course, because I'm a little bit of a freak, I found the picture that I want to share with you. So do you guys see what Ann did? What she did is she said, here's the pool, here's the water. This is a chair. So this shows you that if somebody is standing in 3.5 feet of water, their shoulders, their head, they're looking straight at these wonderful logos that Ann created that were the Shapes logos for her gym. And that doesn't mean you guys have to go out and spend a lot of money on this. Just go out and buy blue paint tape. You can buy it on Amazon. It's really cheap. And just put an X at that 6-foot mark. And I tend to kind of go with Connie here, that what I might like to do is, I'm going to show you another one of Ann's pictures so you can see more of them. But you see how she placed them, which is really nice to do. I can't believe I found those so quickly.
Oh.
But they were wonderful because I begged her and I bugged her. And I thought it was a brilliant idea because I was trying to go on the internet and buy those orange cones, you know, the cones that you jump over, the kids jump over in soccer and things. You can also place those, which might be a nice idea because you can figure out then they're mobile and you can move them. But Ann's stickers, she just peels off. She can move it to another destination. But that's something really nice to consider. And then she can also place them on the tile floor, 6 feet apart. So as people are getting in the pool, it's very regimented as they're stepping down into the water. Now, Jeff, I'm going back to you. What was the name of the company? Do you recall that created those for you?
No, I'm going to have to send it to you.
That's okay. I think I know the name of the company.
They're in Colorado.
Webinar.
Yeah, another.
I'm going to
webinar. You know, people are so used to stepping on stickers, aren't they? Everywhere you go now, they're so respectful. Like everyone has said, the members are so pleased to be back. Jeff, we had the reservation system too, and we thought we'd do it online. We thought this is really good. We're all tech savvy now, and the boomers are zoomers, so everyone can do it. Wrong. It was one of the weaker strategies. We allowed them to call. And at first I thought, oh my gosh, I don't want my salespeople, my front desk people spending all their time talking to people on the phone. But guess what? That's what got them back. The more conversation we had with the member when they called, the more questions they had about the reservation system, the more we encouraged them, the more they felt comfortable and the fears were dropped. So I loved the call-in system, although it was kind of hassle at first. But everyone has been super respectful, and it gives me an opportunity to not only remember somebody's name, but encourage them to bring that friend that hasn't come back to the gym yet. I love the reservation system.
And I want to kind of piggyback on that. We did the same thing. The tech savvy was not working for us either. So we had somebody that was like a concierge that would basically answer the phone and get them on their place like it was an old school appointment like a hairdresser would do. And then if somebody had a cancellation, we would call and all that, because we have the staff right now, you guys. The gyms aren't that busy. So there are people that can help us with that.
Yeah,
Now-
we call ours ambassadors.
Now, how are you guys handling the masks? Because this is a big, you know, the masks, this is a big controversy. I'm sitting here, look at my little mask right here that I've got. Love that. Eat
So
clean,
cute.
train dirty. I know, I'm such a loser. But the masks worried me because I'm standing above people. It's hot, it's sweaty, and I'm wearing this mask, and I'm going to take my mask off because I'm getting out of breath. But what concerns me is then I'm spitting right on my people. Now, I am pure as the driven snow, of course, but you don't want to be spitting on anybody. I mean, my yoga instructor got fever, sore throat, I hate to say this, but diarrhea. She had all the symptoms of COVID, and she ended up getting tested. My husband and I isolated, you know, in the house because we were all terrified for the 2 days, and she came out negative. I think she just ate something bad. But we were terrified we had it. But what if during those 2 days I was teaching? So keeping your masks on all the way through. And even though Florida may be lax, or Kentucky may be lax, and Virginia may be more conservative, and New Mexico may still think that, I don't know, we're in the last century, but we should err on the side of the most nervous person. Now, Connie, I'm going to talk to you about that, because we were chatting about this on the phone. I think it was just this morning.
I'm not sure when it was. It all starts to run together for me. But the mask wearing, I'm finding, is a little bit different from county to county. And our facility is owned by a conglomerate that owns facilities in Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia. And each of those areas has their own guideline. And so Montgomery County, they have to wear a mask when they teach. But in Northern Virginia, as long as we're 10 feet away, they're saying, nope, you don't have to have a mask. So number one, know your guidelines. Number two, I would say err on the side of caution. If you have the space and you can distance 10 feet, I think that's even better. I also spoke with Rebecca Erickson, and I know she's back to teaching WATERinMOTION in Wisconsin, and she said that they are required to wear a mask on the deck, but not in the pool. So what she has found is that she's been teaching from the pool, but she's wearing a shield. And she's finding that that is so much easier to teach with because she can breathe. It protects any particles from spewing, and she still has the distance away from her clients. So I'm seriously considering getting a one of those face shields that hooks onto a baseball cap. And I think that that's the best option for public teaching at this point, because the mask does inhibit your breathing.
Now, I love that because I looked on the internet, you guys, and Mike, can you do me a favor and just Google it in Amazon? These plastic shields are like $4.50. They're very inexpensive. Go ahead, Connie.
I know this isn't kosher, but I'm just going to tell you. I saw on Pinterest, you can make your own shield with a Krispy Kreme donut dozen carton, and it has a see-through window. It was the funniest thing. But I'm thinking, you know, that's not a bad idea. The idea is good. So I think we're going to see all kind of things coming out, and a lot of people going to start wearing the see-through shield as opposed to the mask, or both.
We were originally going to we were hoping to do Dallas Mania at the end of next month live. We've since said Texas had over 10,000 cases on Sunday alone of COVID. We just don't feel that it's safe for our attendees or our staff or our presenters to hold a live event. So we're going to be streaming it. But before we did that, we set up protocols. We found the shields for about $4.50 on Amazon. I asked Mike Lieber, he's going to put in a link to it. And he also just put in a link to the masks. And we were talking, we we actually had these made, these SCW cute little masks made that we thought were so adorable. I got another one here somewhere hiding. Oh yeah, here we go. I love this one, Strong as a Mother. I think they're so cute. And what you do is they're double layered, and you can fold over a coffee filter and put it in here, and it's great and it's attractive. Yeah, but I just thought they were fun because, you know, I was sick of looking like I was wearing this black thing. I looked like a bandit, you know. But wearing the masks there, and then you need to make sure that before your people get in the pool, that they do take off the mask, because if it gets wet, it's really going to impair your oxygen consumption, your ability to inhale. The other suggestion we came up with was turn the air temperature down a little bit. Just because, you know, when the air is a little cooler, it's less humid, it's easier to breathe. This means that you might want to turn the pool temp up a degree, or have people wear possibly long sleeve shirts while they exercise. But the cooler air will make it easier to breathe, and the shields for the teacher, you know, you can even, my dentist was wearing a shield and a mask underneath it. So I would recommend wear the mask and the shield into the pool area. And then if you can teach with the mask, go for it. Use your chair, use a step, use some other device so it's not as cardiovascularly demanding. But if you need to take it off, at least when you spit, you'll be able to see what you're spitting because it'll be caught. Any other suggestions with masks? Jeff, you're a big outdoor teacher.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you know, how are you managing your outdoor classes? I know they're not aqua right now, but.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I'm a firm believer in they're also doing classes that are outside for aqua. Why not? You can still grab a noodle. You could still simulate it for our members that are not teachers, but the members with a noodle sitting in a chair even, and giving them a workout as well. We don't have to be in the water always. You just have to gear it accordingly. But for me with the masks, you know, every club here has been very different with it, Sarah. Some of them said, Milestone said, teach without a mask. Members don't have to have a mask. And I'll never forget that first class when somebody was going to sneeze. And I'm literally like, you can't do that in here. You don't have a mask on. Like, it's very fearful. And then the new club that I'm going at, they want us to wear the shield. So it's all very, I feel most comfortable teaching outside, to be honest with you, just because I feel, so if your pools are outside, I just feel safer for some reason. And I think that, you know, a lot of clubs now are opening up their windows if they have windows, because that's another way they're saying, because we know it's airborne. It's just, it's a trial and error, but I feel most comfortable in a mask. It doesn't bother me. I don't teach with it. The problem we're having is the members come with the masks. We give them a class in the pool, then they're expected to put it back on, and their heart rate is still high. So it's this oxygen depth. It's just, we have to be very careful of that, letting that their heart rate and everything with the oxygen and everything else.
And what I would really suggest for everyone who's listening is do a role play. Now, Anne, I'm gonna talk to you about this again, because, you know, navigating the walkway to the pool, making sure you have a bench where they can sit down and put their towel and take their shoes off and their cover up off. And then they get out. And how are you going to stage? Okay, the front row, you know, this person, you can get out, get your stuff, wipe off your face, then put your mask on so you don't get the mask wet with the chlorinated water. You know, but how did you navigate the practice or the rehearsal of the class?
I was so glad you asked, because no one's brought it up, but we had to put our staff through different kind of training. You know, so we really had to work from day one of the closure, anticipating the reopening, with retraining our staff. Because that staff person who was used to running in at the last minute, throwing their things down and putting on music to start with the warm-up, had to come early. They were in charge. They had to manage the movement of the people in their class. They had to really sharpen their skills in teaching, and they had to rule the roost in a sense, right? So teachers that were just doing classes, some of them freestyle, which I think the freestyle teachers actually in my club have had a harder time than those that are following a pre-choreographed program. But we had to really coach the teachers to become a coach and not a teacher, and take hold of the whole aquatic environment. So no longer was that aqua lady in charge of what equipment. Remember those days when we'd walk in and the participant would have the equipment out on the floor like she's choosing what we're going to use in the class? So we really brought the trainers and instructors back in. We renamed them coach. We put them on social media. We reintroduced them. We put their bios up. We glorified their presence, and we empowered them to take hold of the entire aquatic environment from locker room to exit. We allowed them to understand the need to change the demographic of the entire pool. They had never taught from the deep end. The deep end of our pool allows them at least 6 to 12 feet from the first participant in front of them. They were always used to teaching on the side of the pool, which meant they were right in the face of somebody, motivating with loud voices. Now they step back. So training of the staff, retraining of the staff, and then making the members understand that this was their new coach, not their aqua instructor, but their coach, really helped with that. We also this has been a great time to give them more education on techniques, practices, and they started as the relaunching day with much more skills. They practiced their skills while we were closed. And so when we opened.
If I remember, I think you also got great suggestions from your instructors themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is there's a lot of people on this call that are instructors and not managers or owners. And like, how do we encourage our directors and owners open the pool? Okay, keep the hot tub closed if you need to, if it's really, really small, or take reservations for people at 15-minute intervals, that they can go into the hot tub. Close your saunas, because the cleaning apparently is just a nightmare between people that if you have to do it. But we need to encourage our people to open up their pools and give them direction on how to do it. And I think, Connie, you did that. And Cheri, that's part of the reason you went to the pool today, I imagine.
Yeah.
And so you're a general manager, I believe, and your director, they rely on you to know what they should do in the pool. And you're very influential.
Unfortunately for us anyways, it's the governor. I really feel like our club would even take, my suggestions and work with it, but our governor has said absolutely not.
And they won't let you open it, but the suggestions, you've got to start thinking now. I mean, even if we don't open for another month, we've got to start thinking now, where am I going to put my stickers? And if I don't want to spend the money on a design sticker, I could just use those little sticky, like I said, the blue paint. But there's a lot of instructors here, and I'm thinking, if you guys, if it is open and available and there are outdoor pools, how do you approach like a hotel that's got an outdoor pool, or any type of facility that has an outdoor pool that maybe it's an aqua park, but maybe early in the morning or later at night they could run a session. My pool closed at my club, and I had all these aqua people that wanted to come with me, and I found a hotel. And I got a waiver of liability. And I will tell you, according to my lawyer, who I just happen to be sleeping with, he is my husband. Okay, the other lawyer, right? But anyway, you have to have a separate COVID waiver. A separate COVID waiver if nowadays. And I will also include that in the webinar afterwards. I have a waiver that we wrote for SCW just in case we had Dallas Mania, but I'll rewrite it and edit it so it'll really be good for a health club or any type of facility. But if you want to do your own outdoor classes as an instructor, you got to go in and you got to convince this rec center, or convince this high school, or convince this hotel, let me use your pool. Here are the guidelines I am going to follow. And there goes the dog. Okay. Jeff, what type of guidelines are you following for your indoor group X classes and also your aqua classes?
Great question. So for us, we are doing 33% of what the room can hold or the pool can hold. That's where we're kind of at right now in the state. We're allowed 33%, and it drops and changes all the time. They said they're going to go to 50. Now it's at 33. So we keep it like that. We keep it at what we're allowed to do. As teachers, though, guys, you're not going to be prepared because they're going to want to hug each other. The members are, and they haven't seen each other. And it's our jobs to be controlling that. And it's a little uncomfortable, but it's our job. We got to set the tone. You know, it's in our classes in land, we have to stay in the front of the room. We can't do that coaching and walk around anymore. We have to stay in the center because we can't get close to people. Same thing with the water environment. Those people want to hug us and they want to talk us. They haven't seen us and they want to hug and talk to each other. And they're even more immune system compromised. So it's our job to really let them know, because wording is this, guys. When you do open back up, you have to let them know we got to follow these guidelines because we'll get shut down again. And trust me, we will. Our country clubs opened up because there was a lot of backlash about them wanting to open with the pools. And even there with the kids, they have to sign up for a window of time. And 2 of our country clubs have gotten closed because they haven't followed the protocol. So these rules are there for a reason, but it's our jobs. I don't think you guys that haven't opened yet, prepare yourselves, because you really are going to have to control the mentality or how this is going to be handled. I think Ann's done a great job. I know Connie's done it. I know, Cheri, you're not open yet, but you know, it's up to us to be in a kind way, but let them know it's for their own benefit.
Yeah, my yoga instructor was very adamant about the 6 feet apart. We all brought our own yoga mats, and she wore a mask. She just set the tone right up. She wore a mask. We did an elbow bump, and you know, and then what she did do is when we were smiling, she just pulled down her mask and showed us the smile and said, "That's it. You never get to see me smile again." But it was lovely. What would you say would be your takeaway for one of the best things you did, and then share with us? Well, why don't you share one of the worst things you did, and then one of the best things you did to figure it out?
Oh, you know, my aqua members come for social. Don't yours, guys? Right?
Yep.
Everybody hands up, social. So what we've done is we've created options for them to participate in a social situation, even if they're not coming back to the pool. So I think that's really, really important. You guys are a talented bunch of people. You know what you're doing. And like Jeff said, create options for them to participate in a social situation, whether it's a physical workout or not. Forget the exercise physiology behind the workout and focus on the socialization. You've got to give them options so that they don't quit. Because if they're fearful to come back and your pool is not up and running 100% at this time, everybody that's on this call, guys, they still want to see you. They want you. They want to see the participants that they miss. Like Jeff said, they want the hugs. So we put together a class called Chair Today, Gone Tomorrow. And they loved it. And we're actually using our aquatic music that they're used to. So they're familiar with their music. It's their favorite tune. So please be open to thinking about creating some type of option for them to have that social fix, Okay. I think that one thing that and that's one thing that we've done really well, and that's kept members from canceling their membership. We're a month-to-month club, which is not a great thing right now. So they're not locked into a membership. So we've given them fewer excuses to leave and more excuses to participate. We've had Zoom parties for bingo. We've had fashion shows. We've had swimwear fashion shows for when the club was opened again, so that they could buy different swimsuits when they came back. The thing I think that we probably could have done is what Jeff said, have more staff available. You know, I brag to Sarah all the time about our little ambassadors and our little open houses. But when we started going, my first inclination as an owner is to cut back on that, right? And some of you guys, I don't know how many owners are on the call, but that was a mistake. And that's what I should have done more, was have more staff available, the ambassadors available for longer periods of time, and to just not just have everybody feel comfortable in the facility. As soon as we took the ambassadors away, I think we went rogue, a little bit rogue. That was what we did wrong.
And I just want to add, what we did wrong was we didn't let them try it for a week for free. We should have opened the doors and had them experience the club at first. We just went ahead and said, okay, we're open again. And they were scared, so they didn't come in until they started hearing word of mouth. And then I would stream classes from inside the studio so they would see the safety that we were doing. But you guys, they like Ann said, we had to have them come in and feel it and have somebody walk them through it to make them feel comfortable, because they're hearing all this stuff on the news that's changing all the time. And so, yeah.
Yeah, Connie?
The one thing I would love, thanks for asking. One thing I would love to share with everybody from an instructor perspective is, if you want to get your class, the one that gets put back on the schedule first, and that I know this because I asked my group exercise director, how do I get my class back on? What do I have to do? I will do anything. And she said, that's the key. Number one, her first priority is safety. So once they figure all that out, they move to number two, and that will be, what are the formats that people will come to, and who is the instructor who will be a team player, who will abide by the rules, who will coach everybody and be patient and help them understand this new way of doing class. And I said to her immediately, I'm a team player, I'm ready, I'll do anything to get that class back on the schedule. So I let her also know that I'm ready. I've been practicing and staying current and exercising on my own, so I'm ready. And I think as an instructor, you have to know that that's your end of the bargain. And if you want to get back to teaching and servicing those clients, you have to be willing to take on these new policies and be positive about it with your clients and be there early and help them understand it. So I encourage everybody to, be that team player. That's what they need from us now.
And I like that. I like reaching out to them, not waiting for them to send everybody an email. Reaching out and saying, I'm ready, I'm here to help. I think that's a great idea. I'm going to share with everyone. I keep sharing things. I want to make sure you guys see these. I'm going to share with you guys. Here is our WATERinMOTION site. It's right here. It's WATERinMOTION.com. I'm going to place it in the chat box so everybody's got it. And if you go to the WATERinMOTION.com site, if you go down to the Clubs and Facilities tab, you've got to move directly parallel over and go all the way down, and you can see Pool Reopening Guidelines, okay? When you click on that link, this is what's going to pop up for you. And this will show you, this is what Cheri choreographed in WATERinMOTION Strength. Congratulations, Cheri. And this is our beautiful Connie Warasila choreographed WATERinMOTION. And for 4 years, and choreographed platinum. So we've got some really talented, you'll get to watch little videos and steal some choreography. Gotta love that. Download the article, Take the Plunge, a guide to reopen your pool. It's right here. Again, it's on the Water in Motion site. Go down to clubs/facilities. You've got to move smoothly over and go all the way down to pool reopening guidelines. Click on the download the article. Here it is, Take the Plunge, a guide to reopen your pool. And it talks about the Center for Disease Control. This is something you can give the owners and managers so they can read that this is one of the best places for them to exercise. And then it talks about active agers and social isolation, setting guidelines, setting a reservation system. These were all suggestions by Anne. Hot tubs, saunas, entering the gym, masks for members. Thank you, Connie, for all those suggestions with the shields and microphones and windscreens, traveling to and from the pool, clothing and changing, how to handle it, shoes and towels, locker rooms, labeling and removing your masks. You guys, make sure your people label the masks, and you might have to supply them at the front desk for people. Entering the pool and social distancing, pool markers, that's our beautiful Anne who helped us with that, different exercise areas, confident instructors and patient students, choreography choices, avoid HIIT training. I'm not quite sure that we're really secure in this. They think that high intensity training repeatedly over and over again reduces your immune system. The aquatic environment is perfect because you get an excellent workout without overworking out. And a lot of people have been sitting on a couch for 2.5 months, 3 months now. Water temperature, air temperature, you can see all this. And then there's a quick list, and there's the author. What a concept. Okay, so I know, I'm such a geek, but I got really excited about this because we have to be an advocate. We need to let people know that we have the safest environment. It's buoyant. There's less negative resistance on the body, and it's very important. Now, Darren is asking you something, Connie, in the chat box. So if you've already talked with the local fitness manager, would you recommend contacting corporate? Because, you know, he works for a huge national chain. There, she's nodding. Go ahead, please.
I would definitely not go above your director's head. They are probably doing the best they can. And I know, because I also teach land fitness, I know my facility is already implementing all of the best, most safe guidelines, and I trust they will do the same thing with the pool. So I would stick to the plan. I didn't know what was going on with the state mandates, so I went out to the website. I read it for myself, and now I understand why our pool isn't open yet for classes. It's open for lap swimming, and it comes right from the governor's mandate. So if you're confused about why maybe your manager has not moved fast enough for you, do some research and make sure you educate yourself about your local guidelines, your county guidelines, your state guidelines before, you know, pressuring your manager. Work with them.
But I do think we need to inform them what the Center for Disease Control has said, that the pool chemicals provide 6 times, what is it specifically? That it provides 6 times the needed strength to kill the coronavirus. And I just don't think people know that. I didn't know it until I read it.
Maybe I'll email the governor.
There you go. Everybody, email the governor.
Email the governor.
And on that note, we're going to end the webinar. I feel like we could do this for another hour and a half, but I'm going to end with a short little video for Dallas Mania. We are going to be streaming this convention. So we're very excited that we have the people on this panel are going to be joining us at the conference. We're going to have several water in motion classes and several, we've got aqua bar classes, and we're pretty thrilled about that. All right, guys, here we go.
Built on the massive success of the first ever live stream mania, the SCW Stream team is continuing its unparalleled fitness convention experience, powered by Zoom. Introducing Dallas Mania, exclusively live streaming August 21st through 23rd, with over 70 presenters and all new sessions as they are streamed live from our presenters' homes and studios directly to yours, all for an incredibly low price. Earn your CECs and join us for an action-packed, interactive weekend of knowledge and inspiration. Live Stream Mania Dallas. Prepare to stream.
And that was put together by our wonderful Mike Lieber. And we're sad that we won't be able to see you in person, but I'm telling you, all our wonderful panelists, I'm going to start with Jeff and go down. Please tell us what you're presenting at the conference.
I am presenting a new water class, which is mixing different techniques, which is called mixing in an aqua. And I'm excited about it. I'm also doing the aqua certification. So let's get going with this stuff. It's awesome.
All on the deck, baby. All on the deck. Connie, what are you presenting?
I'm definitely presenting the WATERinMOTION original program. I'm always excited about that. It's called Choreography Overflow. And I know I'm also doing my aqua yoga flow, which is just a wonderful way, even if you're just doing it on land, a wonderful way to end the day or the weekend and get a lot of information at the same time.
That's great. And Cheri?
Be looking for water in motion strength.
With the aqua dumbbells.
With the aqua dumbbells. That'll be safe in the water.
Great. And Anne?
No, my programs are more on the business side and the management side. So any of you guys that are out there that want to take that step up in management, I'm going to find out if you have the DNA to be a good fitness and aquatic director.
Ooh, very cool.
Awesome.
And Jeff, we just had a question. Is your yoga certification that you're doing next week good for someone that wants to start teaching yoga but has no other certification in that discipline?
Absolutely. The cool thing about the day is it's a great day. If you've never even taken yoga, I'll get you through it. We learn 30 poses that are the base of what you need to know, and we move on from there. And you don't need another certification, but I'm telling you this, once you start with getting education, you're going to want to piggyback it with more. That's the cool thing about it.
All right, wonderful. All right,
Sarah,
guys.
what are you teaching? Wait, Sarah, what are you teaching at the Mania?
I don't know. What am I doing? I'm doing a marketing presentation that I love. I'm doing a trends panel. I'm leading a panel on trends. I'm doing a panel on Group X, which I think you're on as well. And oh, I'm really excited. I'm doing a chair yoga workshop, which is wonderful for aqua people to follow because they don't have a pool in their home, but they want to work out, but they're not used to some of the HIIT programming. So the yoga in the chair works really well. All right, guys, we better say good night or we're going to be here forever. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you all. And hopefully we'll see you at Live Stream Mania next week or at Dallas Mania a month later.